As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
I hope you guys are doing great today. I don't have a lot of fluff in the beginning of this. We're going to get right into everything right now. So we have been going over the scent dogs, the track dogs, everything. We've went over all the reports saying that it wasn't following Sebastian's scent, but we also know enough that ground disturbance dogs are finding something. They're finding something, right? So Louise, hopefully I'm pronouncing the name correctly, sent me a clip of the mob crew. And so I wanted to play that for you because I think now we have a lot more clarity with this back and forth between him and the unscrupulous PI than we have ever had before when it comes to the scent dogs and piecing together certain things that happened between 3 and 4 a.m. in the morning. So thank you all for being here. I won't have time to say hi to each of you individually. I'm against the clock because everybody knows I love the Deceptive Detective, and he's going to be dropping a premiere at 2 o'clock. So we have 55 minutes to get everything out that I need to get out to show you guys a little more information, chipping away at what happened the night that Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers disappeared. So I'm going to first take you to the mob crew, and then we're going to get over to some other clips as I walk you through this information.
And you could almost make it look like, well, he's just going to get ready to back in. But if you look at the
I'm not going to really interrupt this because I think you guys need to watch it completely uninterrupted. If you guys want to watch the entire mob crew clip and get the context maybe before this, but we're going to specifically be right on the 2 cars that were visible the night that Sebastian disappeared. 2 cars. We know one. Well, I'll let him walk us through this.
Time, it's 30 minutes before, which, why is this guy showing up like a half hour early? And, I get shown up early, but he even then talks about this nefarious car. And again, why, here, I'll show you something as well. So again, here's the Uber driver. notice we can see the car. The car is not blacked out anyway, other than the possible license plate.
Okay, so now you guys know the mystery about the Uber driver, where they were, and what time they showed up. It's right there in black and white on February 26th at 3:33 in the morning. The Uber driver's there. You can see the trunk open. They're loading whatever suitcases into the car. This is the infamous Uber driver. Okay. Now just stay with the mob crew. Many of you guys probably seen this, but I'm gonna walk you through this.
Now we see it's 3:33. Thank you. You guys are amazing. But this is the car. I am like 90% sure, because here I only proofread this, but it didn't hit me, because I thought, oh, this is just the Uber car he's showing. And he's showing like it parked, and then he's showing a clip, where it's just arriving. But, then today when I looked at it, I don't know how I came across it again. I was looking at it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'll talk about that here in a second. But let's read this real quick. Mob crew then goes to imply that the 3 a.m. car is nefarious, which I do think it's a nefarious car. That just means, it's a
car was seen near where a missing child disappeared from. Okay. It's odd. And in many cases, until disproven, would be nefarious. Just I absolutely 100% agree with the mob crew with that statement. We all know that something is out of place. Something is amiss.
Weird. Why is it, have its lights off and then turns them on, in that area? If it was in a driveway, it makes sense. Or, it's just weird. So I say it's nefarious. And then he continues to say, must belong to the responsible party because it fits his fabricated 3 a.m. lights video narrative. Well, again, we've heard from sources and from the video itself that, now, of course, the timestamp is broken, but it's very interesting because this car does actually show up around that time, which, again, leads me to some other theories as well, as was there a dry run days before? We'll get to that a little bit later.
I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite there yet with the whole dry run the day before. I still think nothing has taken me off the fence that something may have happened, a blow up of some sort, something that wasn't expected to happen. I haven't gotten away from that just yet. If there is something different and there is something that pulls me into that direction, I'll make sure that I tell you. But there is something with this whole business with these cars. Just stick with Mob Crew. I dropped the link in there if you guys would like to see the entire hour and 30 minutes, get the full context before and after. We're just going to focus on this singular area.
Prove this. Here's a screenshot of the vehicle. So again, he is literally implying, I can't believe I missed this. Here he is saying, this is the 3 a.m. nefarious car, well, according to me, shown at 2:58. The vehicle had already passed Stafford Court and was nearly at the top of Killen. Now, he leaves out what it did after that. But
okay, let's go this. Let's listen to this again. This is we have car number one. Well, we're going to say suspect car is car number one, because it came in front of the camera before car number two, which is the Uber car. So we're going to have car one and car two. He's referring to car one, what they did.
Here he is saying, this is the 3 a.m. Prove this. Here's a screenshot of the vehicle. So again, he is literally implying, I can't believe I missed this. Here he is saying, this is the 3 a.m. nefarious car, well, according to me, shown at 2:58. The vehicle had already passed Stafford Court.
Listen.
And was nearly at the top of Killen. Now, he leaves out what it did after that, but I promise you.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
So, top of Killen. The top of Killen. Guess where Davin Court is? It's at the top of Killen. It's the road that goes into the construction site. Now, I'm going to still finish the mob crew because he has more to say. He has a lot more to say, but I want you to hear this. Now, her time is wrong. She says she believes it was around 5 a.m., but it wasn't. We clearly see the receipts that the Uber driver was in the area at 3:33 to pick up his or her client. So give me just a second. I don't like seeing my ex's face, so we'll just do this and show his emblem. All right, you guys all see her? Let's listen. I think I got it right where I want it.
In the trash truck, and then Katie's SUV, and then the police, or then the school bus, and then the police. So there was no other car that ever drove up Stafford.
Was it a car that the lights went to? Or like an SUV or a car? Like what type of vehicle was it?
I don't know. I don't remember. It just the words that where I was told was unidentified car. I don't know if it was an SUV or a car or what. That was just what I was told. It was an unidentified car. And that was another thing is when I asked the lead detective, I said, this car that was on Kellen, he was like, yeah, we already figured that out. That was an Uber. And I was like, no, the Uber was a neighbor on Devon.
All right. So now we see where Devon is. So there we have Devon. Okay. Now, let's look at what we have from Gray Hughes.
Route that the dog took when it had a scent. So I'll put that in here as well. So he said that out the front door, it scented Sebastian. And then the dog scented around the house like this. And then back over here where it came out, the dog came out on, I think it's called Kellen Lane. So it kind of came right in front of that same house that had the fixed light on it. And then he apparently walked this direction. And then right up here on Devon Court, took a right. And then went down this Parkenham Drive. Now, the thing is all this is way more developed at this point because this was a year ago.
All right. Now let's go back.
This is the car. We know who owns this vehicle and where it went, according to him, but he's not going to tell us that. And I would think law enforcement.
So what I'm trying to say, what I'm going to be showing you guys here is now we learned and we've had it pounded in our head that the dog's scent was not Sebastian. We learned that Max was a ground disturbance dog. So he was following a scent. And he was following a scent that was at their home because that's where he started from. It was not Sebastian's scent. So it appears, according to what we're going to learn on the mob, we're going to listen to it ourselves. What we're learning is that this car was there at 3 a.m. and went up Kellen toward the construction site. Many people asked, who could have been at that construction site? What if somebody went to the construction site, parked their vehicle there, and the person in that vehicle went and picked them up over at that construction site? Because the next time you see this car is when they're sitting on Stafford Court in Kellen at 3:11. So they were up there at that area for over 10 minutes. And if we remember Chris's own statements, he said that the dog tracks there and then poof, it's gone, as if it got into a vehicle and left. What if it wasn't getting into a vehicle and left, but rather getting out of a vehicle? Because when that car backed out, it backed out, went down Kellen, and exited the community. What's stopping them from driving back around to that construction site to pick up a vehicle? Because we didn't see any lights. We didn't have the footage going to the house. But we have to know if people were coming out to a vehicle and there was only 2 people in that house, who was over at that construction site that got picked up? Let's keep listening to what Mob Crew says. This is going to get interesting.
Enforcement would have came out with that if this whole lights video was just nonsense. I think they would have probably, explained that a long time ago. Mob Crew's implication that the 3 a.m. vehicle is involved is completely incorrect. I only say it's, of course, you can't speculate anymore.
We speculate, we theorize, we do whatever it takes to piece together a case.
But anyway, continuing on, these are significant errors. He trusts an unreliable source over actual investigative work.
Blah, 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 blah.
So let's go back to what we heard from the sources, right?
Listen.
They said that there was 2 cars. One was an Uber. We heard that a long time ago. The only problem, the only difference was, they thought it was at 5 or 5:30. Now we've learned it's at 3:30. But
so that was significant information. 3:30. We now know exactly what the car looks like that picked up that resident, the Uber driver, and the specific time that car was there. That's huge.
Everything else is true. There was 2 cars. One was the Uber, and one was a mysterious car. So here he is, basically verifying what we heard. Just, unfortunately, the time with the Uber driver was a little bit off. But again, that's huge. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Hey, Brittany.
Yeah. 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 That guy's something else. I'll tell you what. All right. But now let's look at this, because this is where, let's see. Hold on. So remember, this timestamp stuck at 3:11, and it got stuck on Friday, which is so odd. And then we have this mysterious vehicle that comes around. Well, now we know at 2:58, and according to the source, it goes up Kellen, and I'll show what allegedly the car did.
Up Kellen, 2:58, 2:58.
That we know again.
That's probably why he thinks there's a dry run, because of the broken. It sounds like somebody zapped it a couple days prior to.
And speculating, but then it turned around, and then that's when it stopped near the home.
Listen to his description.
But then it turned around, and then that's when it stopped near.
Oh, I didn't go back far.
That comes stuck on Friday.
Okay.
Which is so odd. And then we have this mysterious vehicle that comes around. Well, now we know at 2:58, and according to the source, it goes up Kellen, and I'll show what allegedly the car did that we know. Again, speculating. But then it turned around, and then that's when it stopped near the home close to the intersection of Stafford and.
So what other purpose would it have to go up to Kellen, or up Kellen all the way to the top to Devon, if not to pick somebody up from the construction site? What would be the purpose for that drive all the way up? Why didn't, when they just come in, they turn right there on Stafford and sit and do whatever they needed to do? But they didn't. They didn't.
Kellen. So here we go. 2:58. So that car is going to drive up, allegedly, up to the top of the road, and it's going to turn back around. This is not the Uber driver.
The reason why he concludes it's not the Uber driver is because Uber drivers don't go into a community and sit and wait 30 minutes before their fare.
Which means it would have showed up probably sometime around, if it didn't do anything else, it would have showed up sometime around 3 a.m. So this 3:11 timestamp, even though it is broken,
Seems almost accurate.
It's very odd and very, what's the odds that there is actually possibly a 3 a.m. vehicle and it is captured even though the timestamp is broken at 3:11. And we'll kind of circle back to that, but don't I have? Sorry, guys. Oh, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. Sorry, guys. 1 second, and I'll read chat here in just a minute. Come on.
Once he gets done with this, we'll stop and have a discussion.
There it is. That's what I wanted. Okay. So this is where it blew me out of the water when I saw this, because this is again, he's even saying this is the 3 a.m. nefarious car. But again, the way he posted it made it look like this was just the Uber car and it was just kind of pulling in half hour early, but it wouldn't make sense. Why is this guy getting out and ready, 30 minutes later? Again, not to say it couldn't happen, but here's the big issue. One, we can see the car clearly. He doesn't make any attempt to, disguise the car, right? Other than the license plate. But yet, this vehicle here, notice he has kind of blurred out. Now, why would you do that if this, again, was the same Uber driver?
Exactly.
Right? Because we can clearly see the car much better in this one. And
by the way, this is the unscrupulous PI that blocked out this image, the entire side. There was no identifying marks other than if his point was to prove that car was this red car, why in the world would he block out the entire side of the car? He knows damn well that these are two separate vehicles. Two separate vehicles. And the one that's blacked out is the one that was seen going all the way to the top, turning around as if they picked up somebody and coming back and sitting on Stafford Court. This is huge. Now we've eliminated misconception with factual information, knowing exactly when and where the Uber driver went and what time. And now we clearly see a car in the area 35 minutes before the pickup. So now it's eliminated the possibility of that car being the Uber driver. So now we know definitively that a car was in the area at 3 a.m., closer to 3 a.m. than 3:10. So when we do our timeline, would the stepfather have time to be at work arriving between 6:30 and 6:45 in the morning? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. So, who was picked up at the construction site and who was driving the unknown vehicle? So now we've eliminated, thanks to this unscrupulous PI, we've eliminated the possibility of those lights, those flashlight video being a trash truck, because he provided us what the trash truck looks like going by, and we can absolutely 100% tell that what we saw in the common area was not a trash truck. And now we have eliminated the Uber driver, confirmed when the Uber driver was in the area, and now officially confirmed there was an unknown vehicle in the area 35 minutes before the Uber driver. And if we listen to Miss Bobby's recount of events, the car only sat there 3 to 5 minutes. Who sat in the car? And who came out of the home and walked toward the car? And why was this taking place at 3 a.m. in the morning, which appeared to be very sneaky, because why else would you turn your lights off? I don't know if I wasn't doing nefarious stuff, I would think at that time of night in a very dark area, I'd want to keep my lights on in case somebody came around that corner. I wouldn't want them to rear end me, not thinking I'm there. Just saying. So now all these tracks are still tracking that vehicle you see at 3 a.m. The dog scent and everything. The dog scent and everything. And then we have the confirmation over and over and over again, verified by law enforcement multiple times, that that track was not Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. So what track, whose scent did that dog pick up on that left his home and went toward the construction site, or vice versa, came from the construction site to his home? All right, guys, we did that in 27 minutes. I'm not opening up the phones because I wanted to keep this consistent and concise for the people that are just joining in. I'll go back through some of this stuff. What you're seeing here is the time that the Uber driver was. The red car over in the left-hand corner of your screen, that right there is the Uber driver, and the timestamp of this Uber driver is at 3:33, almost to 3:34 in the morning. The one that it's cropped over, where you see the lights on the bigger part of it, but it's got the blackout on the side of the vehicle, that came through the neighborhood at 2:58 in the morning, some 30 minutes before the Uber driver. And when it came into the neighborhood, it passed Stafford Court and went all the way to the top of Kellen, which just subsequently connects to the construction site. Then it came back down. Then it turned on Stafford. Then it shut off its engine. Then two lights 3 to 5 minutes later approached that vehicle. Then the vehicle left the area. And then some 30 minutes later, the red car in the left corner pulled into the community and went into and picked up his fare. When we look at the map, we clearly see this is the connecting, oh, you can't see them, I'm on my screen, not yours. This is the connecting road to the construction site. And exactly as Gray Hughes stated, this is much more developed than it was. And there's a lot more houses over in this area than what is seen here. Some of these roads are already developed, and there's a lot of row houses and row type housing in this community. They're nice houses, and many of them did have ring and security doorbells that would have picked up movement, I believe. But you know what? It seems like my interior camera here at my house that I have pointing out the windows pick up more than my ring doorbell does, just at night. So, I always try to play devil's advocate. Is somebody's system a little different than others, with the whole ring and the service they provide? Is it a just continuous feed? Mine only comes on when there's movement. or seen movement. So I don't know how Ring works, but a lot of them had the Ring doorbells versus the Blink. So I'm not sure, I don't know what different Ring, I just don't know. But either way, we're seeing a path being followed. We're seeing definitely a pattern and a path followed. But I think we've all determined that the scent left the house. I think this is a big misconception based on what we just learned. Okay? I think the scent is going from the construction site to the home, not from the home to the construction site. And if that's the case, that is huge. Because we have been looking at this particular situation all wrong. Because there is a difference whether it came from his home or from the construction site to his home. There's a big difference in that. I don't think the LE has given information to anyone. They've definitely given us the fact that the scent, we've got it in, I bet you, if I did a search on it, we could probably pull up at least a baker's dozen reports of law enforcement and the EMA director. And I think we even played some of that just the other day here. It would be nice to see Sebastian go to his father's arms. Hopefully is a definite hope is a definite possibility. Amen to that. Also, I apologize, everyone. Beautiful Betty, reality mods. Oh, you're okay, Cad Mom. It's nice to see you. Thank you all for coming here. But I did want you guys to see that because we do have, some information that is now starting to make this develop. I just lost my. Hold on, I just lost my. When I bounce between YouTubes again, StreamYard drives me freaking nuts, but it is what it is. Okay, let's clear that off. Let's put this up. Make sure you guys can hear it. There we go.
That was just what I was told. It was an unidentified car. And that was another thing is when I asked the lead detective, I said, this car that was on Kellen, he was like, yeah, we already figured that out. That was an Uber. And I was like, no, the Uber was a neighbor on Devon.
So the Uber was a neighbor on Devon. And this car number one just so happens to go straight past Stafford all the way up. Now, let's just play devil's advocate, okay? Let's just play devil's advocate here. If you are the Uber driver, okay, your fare's on Devon Court. You have an entrance into a subdivision just sitting there where nobody's going to be going in and out because it's a dirt road. So say you got there a half an hour. Would you drive all the way up there and see this little cove that's perfect for you to sit and wait for 3:30 to come around? Or would you go back down and sit on an odd street that has nothing to do with your fare? And then why wouldn't you stay there the entire time waiting for you to go pick up your fare? Why would you only be there 3 to 5 minutes? None of this is making any sense, but when you listen to the paths of these things going on, it is following that dog's disturbance or scent of someone. It didn't have an article of clothes where it was specifically looking for Sebastian's scent. It was following a scent. And they started at the house and it followed the scent back to the construction site. So many people thought it came from the house to the construction site. But what if it came from the construction site to the house? There's a huge difference there. There is a massive, massive, huge difference there. And this is the diagram that the stepfather provided Gray Hughes. Why are all these things tracking to the same place if it's not related?
The dog scented around the house like this, and then back over here where it came out The dog came out on, I think it's called Kellen Lane. So it kind of came right in front of that same house that had the fixed light on it. And then he apparently walked this direction. And then right up here on Devon Court, took a right. And then went down this Parkenham.
But what I will say, this stuff back here is still not developed. Now it's this whole subdivision that you see that's all dirt is much more developed than it is here. But this is the back of the community, and this hasn't been developed. They developed the front of the community first and are working back toward the back. So none of this it's still a lot of dirt roads. They've got the manholes there because I had to watch with my vehicle. It was a bumpy ride back there, but my SUV could get back there just fine and drive. And I would believe a pickup truck, an SUV, and a car. I don't know if I would, it's flat, so you could get around stuff, but a car's a little lower than I think would navigate without some
drive. Now the thing is all this is way more developed at this point because this is a year ago.
So look, I mean, this is all over here. I mean, this could be where somebody parked. I don't know. I'm just saying, I think we might be looking at this wrong. With this new information, we have now been Hi, guys. I don't know what is going on here. Like the whole system just went down. Hold on. I'm getting back in now. That's some craziness. That was like freaking odd as hell. I don't know what happened. Yeah, my whole system, it was showing it wasn't working. I don't know. Wi-Fi, no. I don't think it was Wi-Fi. I don't think it was Wi-Fi at all. I think somebody drove by here. That's what I think. But trying to kick myself out. I don't know why it's doing that. Either way, probably was. We have, but you know what? That's the way it is. Whenever you bring truth to power, right? They try to find a way to stop it. But I mean, they can only do so much because the neighbors out here, they're tired of their shit. I can tell you that if somebody comes around here, they've got a lot of problems. They say that my neighbors don't like me. That couldn't be further from the truth. Remember, I feed them. Everybody loves me. KP time to go to Sebastian. What time are we? So we've got like 19 minutes before the deceptive detective comes on. He is airing a premiere. I'm interested in it. You guys know I hold the deceptive detective in high regard. And I did see that. I just wanted to come here and tell you guys the breaking news. This was a tidbit of information that was absolutely needed, without a doubt. It probably was, VA. It probably was. Because, I mean, it went down. It was just like that. But by the time I realized what was going on, because I had pulled it up on my phone, and I'm like, my phone, I mean, they're on two separate networks. So it's either a glitch with StreamYard or something happened to the internet. So I'll figure that out. I'll be calling somebody here shortly. No, they can't. So also, I want you guys to look into this. I really do. Because why would this unscrupulous PI literally block the side of the car, if not to conceal that? Now, if you're trying to say it's this 330, my dad is an ID. What's that mean? They were talking about syphilis. We already have chlamydia, guys. So we don't need more. We don't need more, right? My internet was down. I missed the news. Aw. Right? I can't cook. I can't cook. So long story short, guys, go back and check this out. But you got to think to yourself, why would an unscrupulous PI be blocking out the side of the car if he's trying to get you guys to compare from one vehicle to the other? Because that darker vehicle, how could you, what identifying marks, especially on the red car, all they crossed out was the license plate. I don't think BHB will have to go to trial. I think it's going to be dropped. We're going to be praying, but I have a funny feeling a circuit court judge follows the law. I would hope so. I mean, I don't know. So we'll figure that out. But yes, we are Sebastian's army. And I got clarification. On this. Syphilis is, so we got chlamydia and syphilis now? Oh, I like that. I like that chaos. I know it was your devious man that came up with that. Or did you come up with that all by yourself? He blocked it out because it was CP. You know, I'm telling you, if you blocked out only identifying information on one, right? But you block out the whole vehicle on the other, doesn't that show you in and of itself how deceptive that person is? Just the same. Anyways, I don't want to miss Deceptive Detective. Guys, go over there. I will be over there in about 3 minutes. So I will see each and every one of you over at the Deceptive Detectives premiere. All right, guys. Oh, Barbosa! Hey! I didn't even see you there. It's been a while. Hugs and kisses, love. Hugs and kisses. Oh my gosh, it's been a little while. Unless you've been here on one of the crazy days and I haven't seen your name. Aw, I love it. It's nice to see you, love bug. It's nice to see you. All right, guys, I'll be back later tonight. I don't know when, but we'll have, Mr. Quinn, it's nice to see you as well. Where is this happening, mods? I don't know what Mr. Quinn is talking about. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you. Go make what you want of this information, but this information to me is starting to paint a different type of picture. So I think we're on the right track. I think we'll continue to be on the right track. We follow the leads where the leads take us. God bless. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We've brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.